The story of Ben Kinsella, a life cut short and a legacy of change. An ambitious teenager with dreams of the stage. In 2008, 16-year-old Ben Kinsella was on the brink of adulthood, filled with dreams and ambitions that were bigger than his quiet neighborhood in North London. Known for his kindness, humor, and ambition, Ben was a bright student and aspiring actor, following in the footsteps of his sister, actress Brooke Kinsella. With his GCSE exams freshly behind him, Ben's future seemed full of possibility, and he was eagerly preparing for a life filled with acting and creativity. Unlike so many teens who fell into gang-related activities, Ben stayed clear of trouble. He focused on his studies, friendships, and dreams, maintaining a solid path toward a future that held everything he loved. On June 29, 2008, Ben and his friends went out to celebrate finishing their exams. Just like countless teenagers that summer, they were full of excitement and optimism, unaware that the night would end in tragedy. That night, Ben and his friends gathered at a pub in Islington, enjoying the warm evening and laughing about the end of school stress. But as they left, an argument broke out between two groups nearby. Although Ben and his friends had nothing to do with this dispute, gang members present in the area mistook them as part of the conflict. Suddenly, Ben and his friends found themselves being pursued by three young men, Jess Kika, Michael Aline, and Jay Braithwaite, who were armed with knives and intent on avenging their supposed slight. The gang members chased Ben down a quiet street where he was tragically cornered and stabbed multiple times. He didn't stand a chance against the brutality and senselessness of the attack. Despite the efforts of his friends and bystanders, Ben's injuries were severe, and he succumbed to them shortly afterward. His death left a void that rippled far beyond his family and friends, shaking his entire community and igniting outrage across the UK. Ben's killers, Kiki, Aline and Braithwaite, were quickly apprehended, thanks in large part to eyewitnesses who saw the horrifying events unfold. The trial in 2009 revealed the horrifying details of how the three gang members had armed themselves and ruthlessly pursued an innocent teenager. The court condemned their actions, describing the murder as a tragic example of the senseless violence that comes from gang culture and knife crime. All three young men were convicted of murder and received life sentences, with each serving a minimum of 19 years in prison. For Ben's family, the sentencing brought a measure of justice, though the loss remained incomprehensible. Following Ben's death, his family channeled their grief into action. His sister Brooke Kinsella became a vocal advocate against knife crime, founding the Ben Kinsella Trust in his honor. The organization focused on educating young people about the dangers of carrying knives, offering workshops, campaigns and outreach programs in schools and communities throughout the UK. Brooke and her family hoped that by sharing Ben's story, they could prevent similar tragedies. Their advocacy had an impact not only on communities, but also on legislation, leading to tougher sentences for knife-related crimes and increased support for anti-gang initiatives. Ben's story became a catalyst for a national movement, reminding the public of the real and devastating consequences of gang violence. Today, Ben Kinsella's legacy is a powerful reminder of the change that can come from even the darkest tragedy. His story stands as both a warning against the dangers of knife crime and an inspiration for young people to make safer, positive choices. Through the Ben Kinsella Trust and his family's unwavering dedication, his memory continues to save lives, offering a glimmer of hope to a community scarred by loss.